Hey guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled Fiance Doesn't Want Shared Finances and I Disagree. And guys, this story is written by a woman. She's young, she's 23 years old. And this is about her and her fiance, a guy who's 25. They're both grad students, or actually going for their PhD. And pretty soon he's going to be entering the workforce in a good field, making like over $90K a year, but she's still finishing up her degree. And basically they're going to be married within a year, give or take. And so she's obviously talking about finances and how they're going to do things. And that's a reasonable thing to talk about how things are going to go if somebody's going to go down that route and get married, okay? The problem is that she wants to have things set up where basically he's going to be putting all his money in a joint account, and then she then can determine where that's going to go, pay the bills and all that, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here. And any of you guys that are on the fence about getting married one day, I want you to pay attention to this video, because this is what you can expect. Especially you young guys that are you spent your whole life in school and all that, or school, then eventually getting a certification or getting a good trade. And then you're not out of the school very long before the girl you're with wants to get married, and she's going to try to determine how you spend your money. And that's what's happening with this guy here. Does that sound very appealing to you? You can expect it. Trust me on this. So pay close attention. And you guys that either are married right now or have been married at one point in your life, you'll know exactly. You'll recognize all this. Okay, so pay attention to that. That's why I'm doing this. And also, I also want you guys to pay attention to how when she starts talking about, these things, she's always going to reference how she feels. It's always going to be about her feelings and how she feels towards this issue about money. But when it comes to money and finances and business and all that, that's not a place for matters of the heart, for feelings. That comes from that comes from your head. It's about how you think, not how you feel. But a lot of women, a majority of them, they're always talking about how they feel about this and how they feel about that. No. This is purely a case of how you think. Guys, we come from a place of ration and reason and logic, so we think. Women come from a place generally from emotion, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here. So again, for you guys that are thinking about getting married one day, this is one more warning to show you what you can expect with your money as if you go down that path. So it starts off with, I'm new to r/marriage and hope you can give me some advice. Sorry for the wall of text. She's writing in, trying to get other people's opinions and obviously get some pity and get people to side with her on this particular issue. She says, my fiance, a 25-year-old male, and I, a 23-year-old female, are getting married soon. We are both PhD students, but in a year, my future husband will have graduated and be working in a financially lucrative field starting at $90,000 a year. That's pretty good. According to him, he enjoys working in the field, but the main factor in selecting this career was his desire to make as much money as possible. Hey, that's awesome. As long as he likes what he's doing, that's awesome. Make as much money as you can, guys. Go for it. That's good for this guy. And he's making it while he's young. I just started grad school, and I'll be 3 years left once he starts working. But when I graduate, I'll be working in a stable field, although it's not as lucrative, probably $70,000 a year to start. Both are STEM fields and require a big investment of time and effort, both during and after work hours. And I'd say that we'd be equally challenging, stressful careers. I doubt that he'll be working more hours. We currently split bills 50-50, but keep everything else separate, and are living on a tight budget of 2 grad stipends. However, we are both good with calculations and budgeting, and have never had problems living within our means and paying debts. Very good. We've also casually talked about our financial future in the past and agreed that we did not want to get a prenup. Agreed. She agreed. She got him to agree. I don't think he agreed to that. She got him to agree on that, because any guy with an ounce of intelligence in this day and age who's going to get married gets a prenup. So she agreed and made that decision for him, or influenced him to make that decision. She said, in parentheses here, we both felt that this was entering into a marital contract while expecting it to end and planning defensively. In other words, we don't want to go into this marriage planning for it to end. So that's a bad thing. And so many people do that and they end up regretting it. Or shall I say, the guy ends up regretting it. However, today we got into a bit of an argument, not a really vicious one, but there were still hurt feelings. Pay attention to that word feelings, this is going to come up a lot. When we started talking about how finance is going to work once he has a high-paying job and I'm still living below the poverty level as a grad student. He thinks that we should each pay an equal percentage of our salaries towards bills. Then keep the rest separate and spend it independently how we'd like. He thinks that he'd already be paying more than his share of the bills and that the rest of the money is his to do whatever he wants. Rationally, I agree that this is fair, but emotionally, ding, 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 I feel hurt by it. It's not how I feel that finances should be handled in a marriage. I'm also worried that the financial inequality will foster resentment between us. There won't be any resentment on his part unless she tells him what to do with his money. That's where the resentment from him will come from. But the resentment's going to come from her because she feels, see how many times she said the word feels here, that it should be handled differently, okay? And at the end of the day, guys, like, here's the deal. If you're going to do relationships and if you're going to take that step and do marriage, you're going to have to deal with the way she feels, okay? Because women come from a place of emotion, by and large, most of the time. So if you don't address that, even though a lot of times it's outright ridiculous and make no fucking sense whatsoever, if you don't address that and try to talk to her on that level of emotions and feelings, you're going to be dealing with a lot of goddamn headaches. Of course, if you are on your own or you are into casual relationships, who cares? Because you don't have to deal with that. They start being a pain in the ass. You can just toss them to the side of the road and on to the next one. But if you're going to do exclusive relationships or even get married, be prepared for that crap. I'm just letting you know. She says, I want to step in for a moment and clarify that I really don't care about money as long as I have enough to get by and have never given him any reason to believe that I cannot be trusted with money. Well, maybe she has had a good track record. There are women that are actually good with money, but by and large, most women can go through money the way someone with a cold can go through a box of Kleenex, okay? Generally, women are stupid with money, okay? But there are some that are pretty good with it. My sister, she's great with money. She doesn't spend shit. She saves and saves and saves. It's her husband who likes to spend from time to time. However, he's the breadwinner of the family, so he's earned the right to go spend. She says, I have no debt or student loans or car payments. I'm a pretty frugal person and don't spend much outside of the necessary costs of living. And although things are tight and stressful sometimes, I'm comfortable with my current quality of life. She says my stipend is about $15,000 per year after taxes and fees. My fiance is also very careful with money and never spends more than he can afford, but he has a bigger stipend to do so, about $21,000 per year after taxes and fees, and spends a lot more money on fun things for himself. Well, she says right here that he is generally very careful with money and doesn't spend more than he can afford, then she needs to trust him, okay? But she should not be dictating what he's going to go do with his money, as you're going to see as the story here continues. She says here, I have no problem with his behavior as he is always careful to pay the bills first, but he and I both have admitted that he cares more about material goods than I do. This does not bother me as long as there is trust and equality in the relationship. And if our salaries were split 50-50 after other expenses are paid, I suspect that he will spend much more than I do. I am not upset because I want more money or want to buy more material goods. I am hurt because I want a marriage in which we are both equals in every way. So back to the feelings. So this isn't necessarily about the money. This is just about how her feelings, about how his attitude towards her and this whole thing. She's taking it personally. And when it comes to money, it's not personal, okay? This guy obviously spent his whole life in school, and now he's on grad school, and soon he's going to be out finally, and he's going to then start having money for himself finally on his own. And before he's even making that money, she's already telling him how she wants things to go, okay? And basically, she already got him to agree to not do a prenup, so it's only a matter of time, honestly, before he probably caves and goes into this. Okay, guys, if you're going to get married, this is what you can expect. Does that sound very appealing to you, to have somebody tell you how you're going to spend your money and how much you can put aside and things like that? If it doesn't, you got to really reconsider going down that path. I'm telling you now. And I guarantee you there are thousands of guys watching this right now that will comment below and agree with me 100%. She says, I feel I feel like we should send both our salaries into one account from which we would pay monthly expenses. Then I would prefer to delegate an agreed upon portion towards a savings account, then split the remainder in half to deposit into 2 separate personal accounts. In other words, he can put all his money in one joint account, which she then has access to, and then she can tell him, we're going to save this amount of money, and then she can then decide what he can put in his own account to spend on whatever, okay? Don't get me wrong, I am all for saving money. Let me make that abundantly clear. All you guys that are young or old, save your damn money, okay? Enjoy yourself a bit, but save your money, because guess what, guys? Shit happens in life, and there are days when you're going to need that money. And also, more money means more freedom, and you can grow that money over the years. And then you can enjoy the nicer things in life, retire early, things like that, you know? Money's freedom. Don't ever forget that, guys. But she wants to determine where it goes, and I call bullshit on that. And at the end of the article, guys, I'll then explain what I think the best situation would be in a situation like this, and for any of you guys that go down this path. She goes on. She says, that way our joint bills are paid, we have stable savings, and can buy each other gifts, and neither of us will feel guilty in buying something for ourselves. This is especially important to me because I know it will start fights with the future husband if I see all of his fun purchases coming out of our joint account. Of course, I think that all big financial decisions, more than $100 or so, should be discussed and agreed upon as a unit. And he agrees, but this arrangement allows us both to have the independence we desire while fostering equality in our marriage. More than $100 he's going to spend, he has to check with her. Bullshit. You're out of your goddamn mind, lady. He has also made it clear that when we have kids, if we decide that I will become a stay-at-home mother for a few years, we will split the finances 50-50. Additionally, if either of us ever loses our job, he has agreed that he is fully comfortable splitting finances 50-50. But if we're both working, he wants to keep finances separate because he feels, now she says he feels, that he has earned his higher salary. You're damn right he's earned his higher salary. Absolutely. I feel that this isn't fair and that we have the same level of education, and it's not like he arrived at our marriage with a bunch of money he has saved up independently. So I feel that we should be a unit moving forward. We're having trouble coming to a compromise on this issue. What are your thoughts? How do those of you who both work handle having 2 separate salaries in your marriage? Okay, so if this woman was asking my advice, or a guy was asking my advice, here's what I think they ought to do. I would say, number 1, take the feelings bullshit out of the picture. This is, you run your house like you run a business, and there's no feelings in running a business, okay? There's a certain political party in this country that definitely focuses more on feelings and have made a lot of laws and things like that based on how people feel instead of facts. And that ends up coming out of taxpayers' wallets. And I'm sure you guys watching this can guess who I'm talking about here. But anyhow, you run your home like a business, and a business that don't give me crap about feelings, okay? What I would suggest married couple do, they're both working, is she has her account and he has his. And then you have a joint account which you put money in to take care of all the joint expenses like the rent or the mortgage, the electric bill, the trash, the water bill, the cable, internet. And then if perhaps maybe her cell phone bill can come out of her account and his cell phone bill can come out of his account, his credit card bills, what he pays the bills comes from his account, what she pays for her credit card bills comes from her account. I don't like this idea that he has to deposit his money into the joint account and then she can determine what's going to go to savings and how much can go into his account for him to basically play with and her account to basically play with. No. Okay? She said before in the article that he's been very careful with money and trust him, but yet she's going on about this feelings bullshit. No. And of course, when they have kids, the money that's going to be used for the kids and everything like that can go into the joint account. But this idea of having one account that she can then determine where his money is going to go, bullshit. I don't think so, okay? Because all it takes, because again, remember, once they say, even before they're even married, they're just fiancés. He puts her name on that account that they're both sharing. Guess what? She can take the damn money. Not good. Do not do that, okay? And once they say I do, again, then they can do a joint account for equal bills, okay? That they both things they share. But that's it. Beyond that, plenty of couples nowadays, they have each of them has their own accounts for their own personal things. their paychecks or their money from their businesses go to the thing under their name, and then the joint account for them for paying the equal bills. That's it. That's the way things should go. This guy should never have put all his money, have the direct deposits from his job go into the joint account, and she can determine. She's already convinced this guy not to do a prenup, which I think is stupid as hell. But that was the beginning, and this is going to continue on. Okay, so guys, if you're in a situation like this, if you're going to get married, number one, do a damn prenup. But number two, do not do a joint account where all your money is going into. That is a big mistake and come back to bite you in the ass. And if you don't believe me, pay attention to all the different videos I've done talking about constant divorces and problems and things like that. Okay, divorce rates over 60%. So you get married, the odds are more than 50%, 1 in 2 chance that you're going to get divorced. So you don't need that bullshit. So get the prenup. Don't do the joint account where all your money goes in. Have your account. She has hers. And if she throws a hissy fit about it, too damn bad. She can always find somebody else, and so can you. But guys, this is what you can expect. I'm telling you now. So if you don't like the idea of somebody else telling you how you're going to spend your money and how you're going to save it and all that, you got to seriously reconsider getting hitched. Okay, amongst the many, many other things that are going to be a big pain in the ass. All right, so, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know your experience. Guys, those of you who've been married, those of you who've been in situations like this, please share your experiences and your opinions on this. You know, this will help young guys out, seriously. So, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.